One of the sexiest topics of discussions amongst the manosphere is frame control. That and stoicism they're just seen as masculine traits. Red pill guys, pickup artists, all these alpha cats, they talk about controlling the frame, your frame. But first, what's your frame? And next, what is controlling the frame? How can it help you? And what are some examples of them? Well, let's find out. And let's start revving that engine. You know, there's your frame and then there's frame control. Two different things. Your frame, it's the interpretation of your world as you see it, be good, bad, or indifferent. For instance, suppose someone were to say to you, dude, you gained weight. You can either take it as an insult or as feedback or maybe even a compliment. That's your frame. Now, as a divorce coach, something that I see all the time when a guy is going through a divorce is at first, there's a ton of guilt. Guys ask themselves how they could have let the most beautiful woman in the world go. They start feeling sorry for themselves because their frame is one of them fucking up. So they try to maintain a brain-dead relationship, but to no avail. And this is the most unhealthiest part of the breakup, and it can be dangerous. After a while, however, usually when the reality really begins to hit them, their frame, it shifts from that of shame or guilt to anger and resentment. And they begin really externalizing them feelings. They go from, I just wanted to love her, to, shit, she really fucked me. That's their frame and that's their reality. Then as time goes, usually if they search for help or look for a coach or have the right social circle, they begin saying, you know what, fuck it. I'm single now. I might as well get used to it and learn to love it. So their frame shifts from that of still they have anger, but now they have growth, acceptance. And if they're motivated, me being one of them, their frame is completely changes just in a matter of months. It goes from victim to now abundance. And because the truth is that they're single now. Why can't they do the shit that they were limited to? Because let's face it, she wasn't really lifting you up at the end, but pulling you down. When my ass first got dumped, I wanted to die. I had this horrible fear that my life was going to stay in the first part of the frame. The aforementioned part was guilt and regret. All alone, laying on my couch watching TV was nothing to do. I was, put simply, very terrified. But then, as I believe it, Karma, she got in front of me and said, I think I was too hard on you. She gave me a kiss because something beautiful happened that changed my frame. I uncovered my then wife's complete secret life along with her plans to leave me. And when I told someone about it, the guy simply said, Rene, you weren't just cheated on, you were betrayed. That's what my frame, it completely changed because I wasn't going to be no victim. Too strong a word. To me, a victim is when something happens to you that's so bad, so horrible that it breaks things in you, things that can never be fixed. That's a victim to me, and I wasn't going to be one. So I made a conscious decision to change from my frame, from that of victim to become my own motherfucker. I, just like you, have every right to be happy, and the good news is that she's no longer around to stop you. Then there's frame control, or controlling the frame. Controlling the frame, it's how you're communicating your interpretation of your frame without having the others know it. That's my definition, and that's a skill, and it's something that you earn by practice. You can read about it and get ideas all you want, but you got to get your hands dirty, boys. It's not communication 101, but communication on crack. And it's going to help you in your relationship with your ex, with your children, the Cindy's, and certainly your future long-term relationship. Because let's be honest, gents, the reason that you're watching this video is probably because you lost control of the frame. She called the shots, not you. She clipped your nuts. But if you're one of them cats, one of those guys who got divorced and you want nothing to do with women or a relationship, you didn't lose the battle. You lost the war, son, because, well, you're just giving up. On the other hand, if you're actively dating and you haven't worked on this part of the development, the consequences can be catastrophic, because that's exactly what happened in my second marriage. I just didn't grow. Frame control, it's power. It's the way that you lead a conversation to get what you want, but you do this by controlling what you say, how you say it, the body language, and sometimes even silence alone will do the trick, as you shall see. I always thought that I was a master at this, and in fairness to myself, I was pretty freaking good. I was in sales and won the top 10% award every year eligible. Let training and development for a then Fortune 100 pharmaceutical company. And when it came to the woman, yeah, I could hold my own. That's because a woman wants a man that's in control. But today I'd say that I was just algebra level, and my ass, it needed to be calculus level if I wanted to succeed as a coach and live the kind of life that I deemed worthy. You control the frame, you have authority, you shape the narrative, you prevent others, even yourself, from getting sidetracked while also coming to a mutual, notice I say mutual conclusion. It's what's called a zone of possible agreement, or your SOPA, when negotiating. And natural leaders, they're such badasses that they even coach up when they're talking to their managers. But to get there, you're gonna have to practice and recognize that, yeah, you're gonna have to control the frame. It's a conscious decision. When I'm aware of it, that I'm gonna have to control it, I take it also as a challenge, but a cool challenge, that I'm gonna have to maintain my cool, that I'm gonna have to listen, not raise my voice, and it's gonna require some outstanding communication skills, analytical skills, and impulse control. And if you're in a long-term relationship, controlling the frame is over 100 times harder than when you just met a girl. And that's the easy part, because maintaining control of the frame with someone that they know you, well, it ain't easy. It's fucking difficult. They know you. Girls will see right through your BS. They'll call you out, so you have to maintain consistent. You have to use words like, here's my frame where I'm standing. Work with me here. Show me where the disconnect is. Inevitably, they're going to go to their frame, but it's how good you are, and you stick to the topic at hand. So use words like, you're not answering my question, or you haven't answered my question, or you're saying this, but I'm hearing this. It requires a no-nonsense approach, a non-judgmental approach, timing, and a genuine want to reach your zone of possible agreement, your ZOPA. Remember that one? But you get this one right, and people will literally go to war for you, even to the extreme, because your ability to tell others what you want and have others' interests, but it requires knowing the audience and impulse control. You know how to get total control of the frame and get your way? You tell the person that you want to do in a very matter of fact, almost like it's a normal way. Here's some examples in which you can control the frame. The easiest one is something we all do, and that's just ignore the other person. Here would be a scenario with your ex. Let's say that all of a sudden it's your day to pick up little Jimmy from her house, and while you're putting little Jimmy in the car seat, right? Your ex, Katie, she says to you,
remember, little Jimmy needs diapers, and Huggies, well, they're his favorite.
But you don't agree. In fact, you hate Huggies. You can argue, debate, or just ignore her and buy little Jimmy Pampers or something. Point is that you use your body language to control the frame by just putting Jimmy in his car seat while she nags, and you control the frame by ignoring it and moving on to something else. Hey, Jimmy and I are going to go to the park today. I'll take pictures and send them to you. You just totally cut her attention and moved on to something else. It's simple, and it's not stonewalling where you avoid or ignore an existing problem because, well, there's no problem. She's gone. See you, bye. Another way to maintain the frame is simply by choosing what you hear and changing the context. Now, we've all had someone take what we say out of context. It's freaking frustrating. Just the other day, I told someone that they're going to have to go, that they better leave now so that the place doesn't close. What did they hear? That they need to go, period. That's all they heard. So they had to leave. It was taken out of context. So especially here, I have to be very careful about what I say because it's YouTube and my shit can get taken out of context anytime. Yeah, you're right. All girls are cheaters. I never said that. But I don't mean this one in that way. Rather, you choose how you hear things. And it's dominating. And I use this one all the time because it's simple. And I'm all about simplicity. Suppose that a person that they want to be a dick. And rather than responding in defense, you respond by disarming them. Here's a true example of something that happened to me just, about a year and a half ago. As I went to the doctor's appointment, a girl at the front, she couldn't have been more rude. And she even said it to my face. I don't really like you. I could have responded with, well, I don't like you either. But instead I said, all right, you got my attention. Articulate for me why you don't like me. Feedback's a gift, so come on, pony up. What do you think happened next? She got an ass kicking by the Renaissance man School of Charm. Nah, not really. She made a friend. The third method I'd say is the most powerful, and that's to use humor. I wish I was better at this, but, well, it takes wit and fast thinking. Some things that I don't have. But it works, guys. I mean, how many times have you been pissed off and then all of a sudden laughing and you try to go back to your anger? You can't. You can't. It's almost impossible. That's how powerful it is. Just don't do it at someone else's expense. Full disclaimer, these examples were written by ChatGPT. Can't even say it. Because, well, after a few minutes, I just went and needed another resource. But suppose your ex-wife, Katie, that she's angry because of whatever reason, but right? And she's just angry at the world. But she's yelling at you. Just say something like, Katie, how could you be so angry when we have such cute kids? Or, hey, do you want to win this over rock, paper, scissors? Or, does Katie need a huggy wuggy? Or, hey, what's the deal? Are you getting Hawaiian disease? The Lakanuki? Point is using humor, you're going to get a laugh and it's going to release oxytocin. And that's bigger than a hug, so it works. It cuts the tension almost anywhere. Disclaimer, this was done by artificial intelligence, but I don't like to use AI. I like speaking and writing for myself because, well, last time I lost my voice was when I was married. And when I've gotten back my voice, I don't ever want to substitute it. Now, the next one, I'm not particularly big on at all. It's too self-serving and self-righteous. But we all know it. I see it all the time when I'd be visiting the Bay Area, San Francisco. And that's using shame or ethics in the frame as though the person's the moral authority. Now, here's an example of when frame control worked outside my favor. And I have to use it because, well, I don't use this method often, so it's too holier than thou for me. Back at undergrad, I was candidly speaking with a colleague, and she said something off the wall that was akin to her having a long-term girlfriend. Now, back then, it was rare to have someone come out of the closet. It just did not happen. Being gay was seen as something shameful, so I get it when people tend to be defensive here. But in a non-judgmental tone, I asked her, "Are you gay?" Her response was classic. I mean, classic late 90s, early 2000s answer. "Does it matter, Rene?" As though I thought something was wrong with it. I was embarrassed and uncomfortable just for asking, but she brought it up, not me. So I just went back and stuck to the weather. The point is, she tried shaming me and made certain assumptions about my values that weren't there. It didn't matter to me if she liked the nappy dugout or not, but she assuming that I did, it changed the frame. And frankly, just me talking about it, something that happened about 20 years ago, in today's video shows how powerful it can be, and also how if used ineffectively, it puts people off because no one likes being judged. The moral of the story is simple. Answer the fucking question. Control the frame, it's extremely important, but you know when it's most important? When you're in a committed relationship. That's calculus level right there, and that's where you need the power of a fucking Jedi Master. First, establish boundaries right away, and remember how I said that it's communication on crack? Yeah, work the problem here, not her. You work the problem. The trick is not to fall for a bait or whatever you do, don't stonewall because, well, we all know what happened last time that you did that. You got your balls clipped. Also, you lose your cool and you lost your masculinity. So challenge yourself not to lose that. A lot of what I learned is from just watching my two kids bicker, and I realized that couples, they bicker the same way. Key takeaway is that someone's trying to win an argument, and 85% of the time, the argument between the couples, they don't really get resolved. They get dismissed, shushed away. Ask her directly if she's trying to win or come to a solution, because remember, you're part of a team now. Here's the understatement of the video. Women, it's been my experience that they like to talk. They like to hear themselves, or just somehow they overestimate our attention span. Ask her to bottom line the main issue here, or what's the solution? The point is to get the creative juices going. Remember that from the moment that she raises her voice and you start raising it, she wins. But I think the big one, the really big one is that women, they just keep bringing up the fucking past. Show me any girl that says that they have a good memory, and I'm going to show you someone who just won't let shit go. They have a shitty memory, as in they just remember the ugly. If this happens, control the frame. Control it again by sticking to the situation at hand. She brings up the past, put a stop to it immediately. Say something like, look, let's stick to the problem today and avoid the pitfalls of the past. If she's trying to trigger you, let her know. Let her know your freaking trigger points. Sometimes they actually don't know them. Just as I heard my two boys bicker when they were younger, I address it the same way as I would with my two kids, but I use the first person instead. So say this. Instead of saying, don't talk that way to your brother, say, don't talk that way to me. Use phrases like, is this productive? Also, seriously use their love language. Mine is affirmation. I write for fuck's sakes. I need to have commands of the English language. That's what differentiates me from others. So I try to clarify everything. Is this what you mean by the XYZ? Never apologize unless you're remorseful, and do not accept anything less than that. And I know I already said this, but set barriers. You must set barriers. And second, let them know or let her know that you're working as a team. Something that's extremely important and is that without growth, you're going to repeat the same mistakes. You'll find another cheater, another jealous person, a fucking liar that changes the rules regularly, or controlling person. So you got to get this one right. And you got to be willing to walk away before going all in and experiencing your own tilt. Gentlemen, a bunch of you guys, often say that your ex, that she wanted a divorce, that it came out of nowhere. If you're one of these guys, the sad reality is that your frame, that it was off. And you didn't control it. And it's a self-awareness issue. And that's what I do with my clients, because, well, we begin with a comprehensive personality test, determine your strengths, and think and brainstorm ways in which to elevate them, not just by a little, but by a shitload. We work on self-growth, the so-called soft skills, and more measurable items like working out, fitness, your style, and earning back their beautiful testes. Look, you need a coach, you just don't know it. Shit, I needed a coach, and I definitely didn't know it. I didn't know it until long after my second divorce. But I just didn't know my self-worth to my second wife. And it was a very costly mistake. A mistake I cannot afford to do again. So, two things. First, join what's become one of the fastest or the fastest men's divorce support group on Facebook. It's free and confidential. It's sick. It's so interesting. And second, stop stonewalling. Stonewalling for pussies. Hire a fucking coach. I mean this, you need a coach, be it me or not, you gotta get one, and stop stonewalling here. If you're interested, make an appointment with me. The link is in the comment section underneath. You just click on that and it'll take you to both my Instagram, my Facebook group, and of course, to make an appointment. But get out there. Start taking control of your life, because talk is cheap. Thank you very much.
I'ma wake up, do damage. Join them 7